How's it going, everybody? Nate here with the Idaho Esports Association. I wanted to, we've had a request from a bunch of coaches to do a tutorial on how to set up OBS for streaming purposes. And so I wanted to create that for you guys so you would all be able to set this up for you in a way that we recommend. And have it that way. So it's super easy. OBS is one of those things that when you look at it, it looks very complicated and scary, but I promise you there's like 7 buttons you actually need to click to get up and running, if that. So this tutorial hopefully is here to help you help guide you through setting up OBS for your esports program. So first off, this is kind of the main screen. You guys are going to get the infinite OBS windows here, as obviously I'm recording the application while recording this, so that's what it's going to look like for the intended purposes for right now. But it is a super awesome application, and this is what it'll look like. You won't have anything when you first sign in. You'll just have a black screen like this, but this is simply from my display capture. So that is what it'll look like for you guys. So for this, on the or going through each one of these boxes, on the left-hand side is scenes. Now for advanced users, you could create multiple scenes. So you could have different things, stuff like that for different organization purposes. But for the extent of for most people, you won't need to create additional scenes. I have multiple here for different things that I do. Scene 1 here is for live streaming. Scene 2 here is for just recording. And for this purpose, I created this tutorial scene. But again, you could just leave it all on the basic scene. It's not going to change much. So to start off, there is the sources here. And this is where the kind of magic happens, where all of the main information you're going to gather here. So one thing that you'll do to create new sources for game capture, for overlays, stuff like that, you'll simply just click this little plus button here, and you'll notice a menu here where you have, application, things like that. For your gameplay capture, I recommend using game capture, so we'll click this here. Let's say we're going to be doing Valorant. So I'll type that out there because I have one already pre-made. So ooh, I apologize for punching the mic there. So we'll name a Valorant one for right now. So you'll click this here and it'll pop up this window. Now you could keep this and you could create one that is just game and have it capture any full screen application, but I recommend staying away from that because sometimes it could capture the wrong application if it's full screen. So what I recommend doing is changing this to specific window, and now your window, you'll click on here, and when you have the game open, it'll let you select the game. However, obviously right now I do not have that game open, so it does not show up. So you'll need to have the game open first, and then you could select this. But once you do that, you'll click that. So you'll click Windows, choose the game there. It'll say like Valorant.exe, Apex, or it's like Apex is R5 Apex.exe, Overwatch is just Overwatch.exe, and so on. So you don't have to worry about any of the other stuff. You could capture the cursor if you want, but not necessary. But the rest of the stuff, just leave this alone, and hit OK. And then boom, you've got your game capture. And if you click on the eye here, it'll allow you to see and unsee. So for this purpose, I'm going to add a window capture. Let's see down here, window capture. We'll just keep it named window capture, and I'll have my Chrome tab here from my other monitor set up. So we'll say window capture method, just do automatic, and that's that. So now you'll notice here it's formatted weird. I have a vertical monitor, so that's how I like to have it set up. But all you have to do is click on the little box. You can resize it, get it to fit into your box, and call it good. If your main monitor is 1080p and you're recording or streaming in 1080p, you won't have to worry about resizing. It'll auto fit. So one of the other things you can do here as well, if you hold down Alt while you're dragging, you can resize the window like this to cut off specific portions. So let's say if I had a Chrome tab that I wanted open, if I had a Chrome tab and I wanted to remove, this part and just show you Chrome, that's what that would look like. But again, advanced stuff, not really worried about it right now. So that's what that would look like on there. So you have that, it would be in your window. It'll show up at the very top, up in this top bit, and that'll fill in. If I wanted to, I could, I'll make multiples here, and then I could just overlay them. So then that way I could cover my infinite OBS screen, things like that. So very, very fun there. So we'll unview those there so you can see it disappearing in the future. But again, just simply view and unview. For the most part, if you want to just avoid any of the fancy graphics, things like that, you would just need the game capture, and that's it. At this point, that's all. You don't even need display capture. You just need the game. You're ready to go. You've got the game captured. Audio mixer here. This is for desktop and mic. You probably won't have a mic, so you'll only have desktop audio here. What I recommend doing is just doing properties and then choosing the speaker that you have sound coming out of. One of the cool things is that if you have sound coming through a Bluetooth speaker, but you don't want that being picked up, you could change that to a specific thing and make sure the game is broadcasting audio to that and call that good. So scene transitions, you don't have to worry about this either. Again, really the only thing you need to do, make sure you got the game capture set up there. Now, one thing I do recommend having here is studio mode open. Studio mode is very cool. As you can see here, it opens up 2 windows. So on the left-hand side is your preview. On the right-hand side is program. This right-hand side is what is live to Twitch or YouTube. This is what your people are seeing. The preview side is what you're potentially, or the preview side is what you are seeing, and this allows you to make changes before Twitch sees it. So let's say you want to resize a window or something like that, right? And so I got my display capture here. Obviously it's showing up because it's there, but normally you wouldn't see this, right? It would only show up in the studio mode, so I could adjust it, things like that. Let's say I want to make it really small, put it right in the middle, things like that. Then you would hit transition, and now boom, it's showing up on live, but then I can make my changes here. So if I needed to resize my window, I could resize it down very small, things like that. So, but my right-hand side is totally fine. So this is what is live, and I recommend doing that. So I'll hit transition again, and that way you can see that, make changes that you want. Again, you don't have to if you just like, I like simple. This is live all the time, but if you're like, I want to make changes, that's what that looks like. So I recommend having studio mode on all the time. Then on the controls, you have start streaming. You click that button, it'll immediately start streaming, and it'll show you how to set all that up in settings. So that's the main video, or the main side. That's all you need to really know about for the main part. Now under the settings, this is the critical window here. So let me kind of make this bigger so you don't have too much in the background in terms of OBS Studio. So you've got your settings menu here. Now, there's a lot of stuff you could change and not change. There's a lot of big scary things that you're like, oh my goodness, there's a lot to look at. I'm going to tell you, you don't need to know about or touch about 99.9% of the things here in settings. So in the general section, you don't have to change anything. You just have to leave it as it is. Don't worry about setting up anything like that. Under stream, now this is the big one. You're gonna select your service. We stream to Twitch, but if you do YouTube, you'll do YouTube. And what I recommend doing is doing this connect account. It'll have you sign in through your Twitch account, and it'll automatically set up everything like that. Now, if you don't want to do that, and you just start saying, I'd rather not connect it, you go into Twitch under Twitch dashboard. You get your stream key. You post it there. Leave your server auto, as that'll just give you the best one, and then call it good there. So that's what you would do with that. So I recommend connect your account, sign in. It'll automatically connect. Grab your stream key. If for whatever reason there's an issue with the stream key, your Twitch gets hacked, whatever, you change your password, it'll automatically update everything here. So that's what you'll need to do there. Again, connect account or paste your stream key in there. For output, you don't have to worry too much about recording if you are just using it for streaming, but if you want to record and stream at the same time, which you need a pretty beefy computer to do, then you would change some of these settings here. But under streaming, video bitrate, make it 6,000 unless your internet's pretty low, then I'd recommend 3,000, but make it 6,000. You don't need to go anything above 6,000 as Twitch won't support it, so there's no use in doing it. For audio bitrate, this is one of those things that you can go you can go all the way up to 320. That is what Twitch would allow, but if you need to save some network bandwidth, I'd recommend 160 or 192. But 320 is great. Hit apply. That'll apply your settings. So then under encoder preset, you would change this here. Your video encoder here. For mine, it's software because I don't have an NVIDIA GPU installed in this current PC. But if you have an NVIDIA GPU, I'd recommend clicking this drop-down menu here and changing that to NVENC, as that'll give you better, or doing H264, which would use your CPU for rendering. So under your encoder preset here, this is the quality of your stream. So if you do fast, or if you choose the highest quality, it means that the image itself would look the best on Twitch. However, it comes at the cost of incredibly high PC usage. So unless you've got at least a 3080 or at least a 3080 in your PC or higher, or you've got a pretty beefy rig, I'd recommend just keeping it either at fast or very fast, aka either medium or high settings. But the ultra settings I would save only if you've got the internet to handle it, which I think it's recommended of at least 100 megabytes or a megabit up to do high quality, but it might even be higher than that. So I'd recommend either being at fast or in medium or high, but definitely not ultra. These lower quality ones, it'll make your video look, it'll be really hard to watch, but it's low usage on the PC. This is what I'd recommend if you're running the game at the highest setting and stuff. But honestly, just avoid these. If you've got a dedicated streaming PC, you should be one of these three. Try for the highest and then move down from there. So you can enable custom encoder settings. Again, don't worry about it, just do the encoder preset, call it good. So make sure you hit apply every time you make changes there. For audio, again, you don't have to change anything really in here other than unless you need to change mics and stuff like that. But again, all that can be done in the main stuff. You don't have to worry about it. So you can set hotkeys if you want, but again, don't have to worry about anything in the audio. Under video, I'd recommend making your canvas 1920 by 1080p, as no streaming platform enables higher streaming than that. If you are, again, struggling for bandwidth, I'd recommend making your output, your encoder as high as possible, but making your canvas 720p. But again, 1920 by 1080, your PC should be able to do that, no problem. The other change I would make, and again, I can't make this because I'm currently recording, but the other change I would make, I would set this here to common SPS values and set that to 60. The default for streaming is 30 or 60. I recommend 60 FPS as because this is gaming content. The higher the frame rate, the smoother it'll look, which makes it a better viewing experience. So I'd recommend 1920 by 1080, and your common FPS value, just set it to 60. It's not that much different between 30 and 60, so would recommend that. Hotkeys, again, only if you really want to set this up. But again, you can do everything, buttons in OBS. This is the advanced page. We're just going to skip over it. Don't have to worry about anything there. Accessibility, if you need to change colors for color blindness, things like that, you can. But again, you can leave this blank. And then the advanced page, there's only one thing in this advanced page that I highly, or not highly recommend, but if anything is required, but definitely recommend doing, and that is the stream delay. Okay, you can skip over the rest of these unless you want to set a default, but I just leave this alone, leave everything else alone. But under stream delay, you're going to want to enable that, because what this does is it takes the raw video input from your streaming PC and will delay it however many seconds you have. And what this does is it prevents your opponents from pulling up your Twitch stream and knowing exactly where you are, because you're live streaming one for one what is happening in game, and giving your opponents, it is cheating, but it is giving your opponents advantage, and it's hard for us to prove if someone's trying to stream snipe. So stream delay is something that I would say is required, but there's not a required time you need to set, because again, it's very resource intensive to have. So for stream delay, the minimum I recommend is at least 30 seconds. Oh, there goes my settings. I hit enter, it disappears. So the minimum I recommend is 30 seconds, because for every game, a 30-second delay, you've already at least made a thing. In Valorant, that's, halfway through the round, so it's hard to predict because by the time you get this stream, and there's a natural delay with Twitch anyways, about 5 to 10 seconds, and then the 30 seconds, that's the minimum. However, the recommended, if you've got the resources, is 60 seconds. That's a full minute. That is, you're at least a round behind in Valorant, or, you're well behind in Apex and Overwatch and things like that. A minute is the recommended. And if you want to go maximum security, somewhere between 180 and 240 is great, right? Either 2.5 minutes to 4 minutes there of a delay. That is kind of the max on that. But again, very resource intensive. It says 142 megabytes, but this also increases the strain on your internet and your PC, everything, because it's all being stored in RAM and then being broadcast. It's a whole thing. But again, not going to get too far into the technical, but stream delay, you're going to want to enable that. You're going to want to make it at least a minimum of 30 seconds. So with that, that's kind of the bare minimum of how to set up OBS here in the way that we recommend. Now there's a bunch of advanced stuff that you can do. You can add other overlays and backgrounds and things like that. There's a lot of schools that have that kind of stuff. Bishop Kelly, my school, we've done a lot of that, but it takes a lot of time to set that up. But if you just want the basic, this tutorial hopefully will help you walk through I just want my game to be live streamed on Twitch, and this will get that for you. So if you have any further questions or want to go advanced and want some other tips and tricks with that, feel free, don't hesitate to reach out. But that's how that goes. And if you have any further questions, again, just reach out. Thank you for checking out this tutorial, and hopefully it was super helpful for you all.